The machine offers a variety of chuck sizes to choose from. Find the chuck that fits the diameter of your wood and install it onto the machine. When the machine is not connected to compressed air, the feed clamp can be manually pushed. Tighten the clamp clockwise. Find the corresponding size and feed aluminum tube. The aluminum tube is tightened counterclockwise. Use screws to fix the aluminum tube. Secure the aluminum tube with screws. 2 screws are sufficient. This will prevent the aluminum tube from loosening. Install the material storage rack at the back of the machine. Attach the storage rack to the machine. Secure it with screws. Connect it to the solenoid valve according to the label on the air hose. Secure the storage bin. Adjust the slope of the storage bin to allow the wood to slide down smoothly. Open the material to be turned. Adjust the width of the groove to fit the wood, allowing for smooth back and forth movement. Adjust the position of the support to fit the length of the wood. Adjust the length of the stainless steel rod and secure it tightly. The length should be suitable for the wood. Manually push the wood to check if it's stuck. Adjust the height of the feed chute. Allow the wood to enter from the center of the aluminum tube. Install the hand wheel to the back of the controller. Connect the plug to the MPG plug position. According to the machine order, connect the machine to the normal voltage. single phase 220V or 3 phase 380V. Connect compressed air to the machine. The pressure is best between 0.6 and 0.8 MPa. Pull up the handle and rotate it clockwise to adjust the pressure. Press the MPG function button. The left switch points to X or Y. The right switch points to X100. Rotate the wheel clockwise or counterclockwise. This allows the machine's axis to move slowly. Clicking the manual mode allows you to press the buttons on the control panel to move the machine. Click the key in the center of the directional pad. You can quickly move along the X and Y axes. Note that before starting cylinder OUT3, you need to check that the machine is in a safe position. Move the X-axis away from the cylinder.
这个时候我们按下气缸3，松掉气缸会往前推进，然后再按一下气缸3。
When inspecting cylinder OUT4, ensure there is a suitable piece of wood inside the chuck. Without wood, the chuck is easily damaged, leading to incorrect diameter dimensions.
然后我们按下气缸4，它会加紧木材，再按一下气缸4，木材会弹出来，木材会松开还是？再按一下气缸4，木材会松开。然后看一下我们这打磨轮，打磨轮气缸弹下来的是锡纸。
After pressing the mill SPL button, the grinding wheel cylinder will descend. If the grinding wheel does not work, please press the grinding wheel switch on the left.
当我们按下锡纸轴的时候，按下这个开关，打磨轮会旋转。
Some machines allow you to adjust the grinding wheel speed. This is an optional feature, not a standard configuration.
当我们把锡纸轴按钮关闭之后，它会自动停止。
Press the compact button. The drilling cylinder will extend. Press it again to retract the cylinder. Install the cutting tool holder.
这里有2个孔位，包括它们这几个也是，螺丝下面是有2个孔位的。然后我们找到这个底槽，然后把它放上去，对应好孔位之后，我们先找到螺丝，给它拧。然后这个时候我们找到我们
Install the outer contour turning tool.
月牙刀，这个当我们固定好这几个之后，我们找到相对应的刀具，这个是月牙刀，然后我们放在是左侧的这个。首先放的时候
Note the installation location.
这个
Screws with springs need to trigger the induction switch. Note that the blade should be facing upwards. Secure the screws and check that the sensor switch can be triggered normally. Install the cutting tool. Note, the cutting tool should be facing downwards. The rear position can be used to install drill bits or internal drilling tools. Choose the tool according to the actual work required. Extend and clamp a piece of wood. In MPG mode, press S.CCW to start the wood from spinning. Use the hand wheel to slowly move the XY axis so that the cutting tool can cut into the wood. Press S.Stop to stop the wood cutting. Check that the cutting edge is centered on the wood.
现在这里，它留了一个台阶儿，证明我们车刀并没有在中心点上。
If the center of the wood is not completely cut, raise the lathe tool so that the blade is positioned in the center of the wood.
然后我们垫一下这个垫块。
Different cutting tools have slightly different center heights. Therefore, choose a shim of suitable thickness and place it under the tool holder.
然后这个就是中心点的位置，然后点击90度偏左。
This position is also the center point of the y-axis. Therefore, when the tool tip is at the center point, the y-axis can be set to 0. Click Setting. Enter Y0, then press Data Input. This is the position of Y0. After setting it up, move the y-axis back, but do not move the x-axis. Manually move the other cutting tool. Bring the edge close to the wood. This will ensure that the edges of both cutting tools are in a straight line.
然后往前移动，到这里正好是我们切断的位置，然后把螺丝拧紧。
Secure the position of the other cutting blade. After confirming the height and parallelism of the two cutting tools, press the compact key. The drill bit will eject. Adjust the corresponding support so that the drill tip is aligned with the edge of the wood. Note that you should not move the x-axis.
我们按下为顶，可以看到现在这里我们钻孔的工具距离它们都很有一定的间距。我们移动袜轴，然后让它把这里松开，往前行进。 抵住我们这刚才车削的一个木材，然后可以看到，它现在也是不在中心点的位置，我们也是需要在这里加入一些垫片，在这里加入一些垫片，然后我们把它调到中心点的位置，这个时候把它拧紧。 选择手轮。
Once it's fixed in place, you can move the x-axis. At this point, you'll find that all three blades are on the same straight line.
然后拿出我们的尺子，量一下它们之间一个间距。
Using the outer diameter cutting insert as a reference, measure the distance from the drill bit center. Then measure the distance between the tips of the two cutting tools. Record this distance and input it into the programming software.
当我们做图的时候，一定要记好这个。当我们需要打孔的时候，在做图时，然后输入我们这个间距。接着我们测量一下切断刀和钻头之间的一个间距，也是刀尖儿对刀尖儿。 然后是70.76，70.76之后，当我们想做图的时候直接切断的话，就需要量一下它们俩之间的间距，也就是说70.76加上它这个间距，做图的时候输上它俩之间的总和就可以。
Based on the dimensions between the measuring tools, enter the programming software. Create a PNG image based on the dimensions of the drawing. A high-resolution image is required.
根据客户的图纸绘制出 绘制出一张符合的图形，像这样子，绘制出一个一模一样的图形。照片 PNG 的格式 ，PNG 的格式，然后打开这个软件。
Import high-resolution images into the software.
选择图形，这个点打开，然后这里会出现这个形状。选择方形。
The diameter or width is determined based on the dimensions of the raw materials.
20， 这是图形的直径。
Set the diameter in the drawing.
这里会自动
The length is automatically calculated based on the drawing, or you can manually enter the length.
咱们如果根据这个需要，根据是一刀切割还是什么？
Depending on the size of the raw wood material, one-time turning or layered turning can be performed.
工具的刀片 1.5， 切割速度和最后一刀切割速度，这里是不需要修改的。选择切割，切割的距离就是
Add a cutting function. Here you need to enter the correct distance between the two tools.
厚度就是，首先是这个位置，刀尖和它的一个距离，这里是79，然后是79，这个是70，这是刀尖70，这个是79，所以也就是说是在这里输入70加79，149。149，速度切割速度，切割刃3，然后
Select the automatic loop function.
点击生成，这时会生成了一串代码。
Complete and export the turning file.
就是机器运行的一个代码。好，然后输出代码。输出成功之后，
Because the code exported by this software is different from the code on the machine, a script is needed to convert the code for automatic loops.
输入文件名 18.txt。
Simply enter the correct file name and press enter. A file with the same name will be output.
好，会生成一个这个文件。把这个文件之后导入到机器内，就可以正常使用了。
If your machine has a grinding wheel or belt function, measure the distance between the cutting tool and the grinding wheel. Mine is approximately 30 millimeters.
刀尖到沙袋之间的距离。这里是刀尖到沙袋之间的距离是大概是4，如果说从头开始打磨的话，就是4、1、2、3公分，30毫米，大概是30毫米，1、2、3、30。30毫米，所以也就是说，在这个文件里边 ，x 轴 x 轴移动大概30毫米的时候，
Open the file using Note.
30毫米。
Locate the position approximately -30 on the
加
x-axis.
入一个 M
Enter code M08. This code indicates the position where the grinding wheel descends and starts.
就是砂轮下降，下降。M08，然后到结束了，到这里结束之后，到这里结束之后。
Because of the 30 mm distance between the cutting tool and the grinding wheel, after turning is complete, the x-axis needs to move another 30 mm to finish grinding all areas. Therefore, manually enter a number at the maximum x-axis value. For example, x130.58. The next line in the software, G01x160.58, indicates that the x-axis should continue moving to -160, completing the grinding of all areas.
好，现在是砂轮。
After polishing is complete, code M09 retracts and closes the grinding wheel. It's also necessary to return to the previous x-axis coordinate position, x130.58.
好，继续回到这个位置。
Save the modified file.
好，继续使用，保存。
On the machine, move the x-axis to the position closest to the chuck. This is the extreme position of the x-axis. Any file running here must stop, otherwise the x-axis will hit the chuck.
比如说我们图纸上是32，那我们需要让它从这里伸出来35的位置，然后用卡尺测量一下这个间距的一个长度。
Use the dimensions to measure the length of the wood. The document's x-axis has already reached -160.58 mm. Therefore, the wood must extend beyond the document dimensions, approximately 162 to 165 mm. Once the desired extension length of the wood is confirmed, move the x-axis to the front end of the wood. Set the x-axis to 0.
在这里，我们切刀的刀尖和木材的一个平面相平齐，然后我们点击系统里面的设置。
Press Setting. Locate the x coordinate under G54. Type x0 on the keyboard, then select Data Input. The controller records the current coordinate position on the x-axis of the G54. This is the 0 point of the x-axis.
接下来摇动Y轴，然后设置一下Y轴的一个起点。
Move the spindle again until the tool tip is at the center of the wood. Locate the y-axis in the G54 coordinate system and input y0. Let the system record the y-axis as 0.
点击设置，然后输入80，然后点击位置，我们的Y轴起点也已经对好了。然后现在让它往后退一点。
After setting the XY zeros, retract the cutting tool. Adjust the automatic feed cylinder tool to the corresponding 162 mm length. After one turn is completed, the machine will automatically move the wood 162 mm. Use the measuring tool to measure the dimensions of the two rear cylinders. After confirming the 162 mm length, fix the handle.
然后我们这个也是相同的，调成相同的一个距离。然后我们按下气缸3，然后看一下这个间距。
Press OUT3. Extend the cylinder and check if it extends 162 mm.
需要相同的32。在这里也是需要32，然后我们上料平台已经调节完毕。
After confirming the dimensions, press OUT3 to retract the cylinder. Transfer the program written on the computer to the machine controller using a USB flash drive.
拷贝到系统里面，打开我们的 USB 口，然后插入 U 盘，然后点击程序，找到带有 U 盘目录的一个界面，然后这里是磁框，我们可以看到，然后点击这个转换键，磁框会移动到 U 盘里面，然后我们上下选择。
Press MDI. Locate the file name. Press output first, then type a name with numbers, and then press input.
然后点击输出，然后这里会有一个名字，你可以选择你任意的名字，比如说5，然后点击输入，然后再点击程序，点击编辑，找到程序目录这里，点击编辑，然后往下找到我们的5号方案，然后点击输入，然后接下来就是我们需要进行一个对刀。
Turn on auto. Click start. The machine will then automatically begin turning.